Solo trip or with friends? We have tackled this question on this vlog so many times. This time I'm doing something different. I'm telling the story of this Rome trip, which was kind of solo and kind of with friends as well. Yes, it can work out both ways as well. So I'm telling the story so that you can go through my experiences and see for yourself what was the verdict, solo or with friends. So let's continue with the day 2 of the story. Hello again, this is Sunny and you're watching Sunny Escapades. We are talking about my trip to Rome with friends, and we had covered the first day and the second day also. In the second day, I went early in the morning to the Colosseum, and what I did and what I saw, that was in the last episode. So if you're not subscribed, you should be subscribed so that you don't miss these great episodes and the great stories and experiences and some of my mistakes that you can possibly avoid. So let's carry on with part 2 now. I was waiting for my friends at the Colosseum because I had already been inside, and now they were getting up and then stirring around. My friends are not the early starters as I was for that day. So they arrived finally at this little train station. It was very crowded by the time, so I was happy to see them. They are my friends, so I was really happy to see them, and I received them at the station, then took them, because the train station is like within the complex of the Colosseum. It's a really huge complex. And then I showed them around. I told them where the queue was, and I showed them where to get in the queue, like the end of the queue, and they were shocked to see the queue. Obviously they were not expecting that, which I was. And then I left them there to get their tickets and then go to see the Colosseum. I was not gonna go inside again because I had other targets on my list. And also I was a little bit disappointed later on when they also got the ticket within like hour and a half, because I was hoping that they would get like 2-3 hours in that queue, because I woke up early for that. Anyway, it was okay, but at the time I didn't know that. I just went from there to the Roman Forum, and Roman Forum is basically the downtown of ancient Rome. It's like gossip, glory and government. All of that is crammed into this one very dusty rectangle, like lots of ruins in there, and there are some partial buildings that you can see. But man, Rome is amazing in the way that you can feel the gravitas, you can feel the sense of history when you are standing there. It was a very bright and warm day, but I still took my time walking around. So some of the things that you can see there, the road that you're walking on is called Via Sacra, which is the sacred way, and this is where the emperors used to parade through when they came victorious after a fight or something. So that's one. And then there are these famous columns that you can see, which is the Temple of Saturn. This was the empire's bank, the financial center, and that's where they kept the cash, where everybody could admire the vibe of the place. And there's the Curia there, which is just a simple plain brick building. It was the Senate House, where less decoration but more drama, more laws were argued there, alliances made, lots of political stuff going on. So I walked around there, took as many pictures as I could. It's really something. So even if you don't like old ruins, I think you would like that, because you get a really good sense of being something that was amazing. For example, you have heard the expression Rome wasn't built in a day. This is the place that actually shows you that, because the whole thing was started in like 600 to 700 BC. And if you, like me, you get confused with that, BC numbers count backwards. So the numbers, as the years pass, the numbers get smaller. For example, the origin of this place, the Roman Forum, was between 600 and 700 BC, and then later on other buildings were like Temple of Saturn was dedicated in the 497 BC. This was the state treasury, like I said, the bank. And then there was the Senate in the Curia Hostilia. So that was later, Curia Julia. These were started by Julius Caesar and then finished by Augustus in 29 BC. Like I said, numbers get smaller. So Caesar's funeral pyre burned here in 44 BC. So a lot of very important stuff happened here, which is part of history which we have read. But then when you get there, you can just walk around on the Via Sacra and you can see all these things with yourself, with your own eyes. So I just soaked in the atmosphere as much as I could, and then I went to the Palatine Hill. I had to climb on it, just there's a road from there because the forum is situated in the valley between the Palatine Hill and the Capitoline Hills. So in between these two hills, so I climbed the Palatine Hill, and Palatine Hill has its own right to, like to glory. This was the original. If this was in New York, it would be called Park Avenue. This was the address where VIPs were there. So emperors lived there. Quite a few emperors moved in there and had their palaces. And Palatine is kind of the origin of the word palace in English. Okay, so for me, the best thing was because this has two balconies. One balcony overlooks the forum and the other balcony looks over the Circus Maximus. So I went to the balcony that overlooks the forum, and I got some really nice angles and wide shots for my pictures, because when you're in the forum you can only look at a couple of buildings near you, but from there you can get nice pictures. But just be aware that it's a bit of a climb. So once I finished that, I spent as much time as I could again, but then I had other things on my list. By this time my friends were also coming, so they were entering the forums and I was leaving the forum because I had already gone and done everything, and they had just finished the Colosseum and come here. So I just left them to it. I was kind of leading them on a chase this day. So that's why I say this was a trip with friends, but it was also a bit of a solo trip. I have to say that whenever I met them, I was happy to see them, but I just did not let them slow me down because I wanted to see a lot of stuff there. It was a short trip, like 4 days that we did, yeah. So I left them to the forum, and then I went to Trans Market, which was also okay. And when you walk from the Colosseum and the forum side to everything, all the roads, you still see a lot of big old buildings, and you still get this whole feeling. So when you're in Rome, you get your money's worth, because wherever you are, you never feel like this could be just another city, but it feels like this is such a unique thing, and you have that vibe all the time, so you get your money's worth in Rome. So went there to Trans Market, and then there were these steps, and I'm gonna mention this in detail because this was one of those moments. I've mentioned those moments to you before. Sometimes you get this moment while you are hardly ever at home, but when you're either traveling or with friends, sometimes you get this really happy feeling, which I call the bien-être, the French word, the well-being, the sense of well-being. Like, I'm really happy in this moment. And I had one of those, which is my most memorable one, is there were these steps which were going from one road to another, and there were just people sitting there. So I went to the shop next to the steps and bought a Fanta, sat down and just sipped the Fanta and waited for my friends. It was such an amazing moment. It was a solo moment, but I should point out that my friends were on the way and we were gonna meet again. That was also part of my whole happiness and the anticipation of meeting my friends again. So that also keep in mind that Rome is not always a safe city. There is some petty crimes that happen there. So I've already told you about in the previous episode about somebody trying to pick my pocket in the metro, and also in this place also where I had my moment, people were doing that same the bracelet scam. So just be on your guard a little bit while you're in Rome. Enjoy the vibe, but don't be a sucker for one of these scams. So yeah, while I was there, so I was just walking around, I noticed an artist who was doing some watercolor paintings of these Roman sites, the Colosseum and the Forum and the other buildings. So I liked quite a few of them, but I'm always worried about my baggage allowance. But he had some smaller ones as well, and there was one which was small size but also had 3 different paintings within it. So I quite liked it, and I thought I should buy one. And while I was looking at that, I thought, oh yeah, my friend Roberta's birthday is coming up in a couple of days, so maybe I can take her something from here. So what they can do is they can give you that rolled up, and I got them to, I don't know whether it was my idea, his like put something on top of it like a newspaper thing so that the color doesn't come off on the other painting, and they were safe. So when I brought them back, they were completely safe, nothing had been ruined. So I gave one to Roberta, and one I hung in my Oxford flat for a long time. So they were very cheap. So I do hope that Roberta doesn't listen to this one, but they were quite cheap. So I got him to give me both of those for 30 euros, which was like dirt cheap, and the quality was really nice. And I think if I do that again, I would rather buy a bigger painting which has one monument or one building in it rather than three. It kind of reduces the impact of the building, but they are really impactful, really impressive buildings, even as ruins. Anyway, so problem with me was that there I did not have any cash. So even 30 euros I did not have at that point. So I tried to find an ATM, walked around a lot, did not find an ATM that I could use. So I called my friends and they were saying that, yeah, we're coming up that side. So I said, okay. I just waited for them. That's when I had my Fanta, and I kind of like just waited for them. And when they came over, then I just borrowed 40 euros from Shiva and paid him back in pounds from my Monzo. Monzo is really good for travel for this reason because it helps you divide stuff that when you are spending money together, and also for transferring easy. So nice. I just love that. So nearby there is the altar of the fatherland. So we did not go in, but from outside you can see the statue with the horse, and I could take some nice pictures from there. And after that we just all stayed together, and they also bought some stuff from the same shop where I had bought the Fanta. I got a shawl also with the Colosseum print for my friend for her birthday, and I got a couple of t-shirts for myself. So it was really a good place to buy stuff as well. So this is like Trans Market, Forum, all these are all walkable distance, so you can easily make a day out of it to go to the Colosseum and the Forum and then all of these places. From there we went to a bar and decided on one of them to have a drink, and the drink itself was uneventful. The only reason I'm mentioning this is because there was a waiter there, and not everybody spoke English there, but there was one waiter who spoke not just English, but he spoke several different languages, and he was charming as hell. You know, Italians are very charming. So he was charming in multiple languages. So I heard him speaking German to somebody. So when he came to our table, I was like, "Sprechen Sie Deutsch?" And he gave me a long answer, and my German is limited to Sprechen Sie Deutsch and ja, aber, that's it. But that's what I've seen most places, that sometimes they have one waiter or waitress who speaks English in Europe. So if you speak more languages, that's always a skill that's gonna get you recognized everywhere. I wish I could speak more languages, but yeah, my French and German both are crap, and Spanish non-existent. Anyway, so from there we wanted to go for dinner, and I think I've mentioned this before that my friend Sylvie, she is a bit of a food aficionado. So I kind of consider myself a foodie. I like food, and I do like good food, and I would be willing to make some effort to get good food. But she takes it to the next level. So she had already researched a restaurant, just like the Bonsai. She had researched another restaurant as well. This one was at some distance. We had to travel. It was called the Osteria de Fortunata. It was a little bit distant. So sorry, before that there's one more story. So before we could get to the restaurant, there was a street corner where we saw some e-scooters, and this is again the friends thing. One of our friends had the app for that e-scooter company, so we persuaded her. We had only had one drink, remember? So we persuaded her to unlock one of the scooters with her app, and then we all took a ride on it, to go around the corner and then see. Yeah, it was fun. We took some videos of that as well. That's the one and only time in my life that I have done drunk driving. Never before and never after. But I was not tipsy, by the way. I had just one drink about half an hour ago, and that was it. So that is something I would not have done on my own. There was military there, because in Rome there's a military that does the security in our place. So we did enjoy that part. And then we got to the restaurant, which is Osteria de Fortunata, and it was okay. So for a vlog, it was really good because they make their own pasta, and you can actually see the whole pasta process from a window. So I got some good shots of the ladies making the pasta, and yes, it is something to watch. But when the food actually came, it was not to my liking, because their pasta was al dente, meaning it was hard. So that's the first time I actually got the joke that Craig Ferguson keeps making on his show. My pasta is al dente. So I did not like it. I did not finish it, did not eat it. Sonia had some of the gnocchi from Surbi's plate, and I had a little bit, but otherwise the pasta was like just a bust. One thing I did not like is that they did not care. If I didn't eat the pasta, like, yeah, we don't care. They did ask why I didn't have it. I told them that it's hard. So I thought it was uncooked, but no. I'm Indian. We actually boil things properly. We don't have things that have like crunchy, this kind of hard. So if you have rice in an Indian home and that rice has bite in it, that would be considered uncooked. Okay, so yeah, I did not like that. So from there, I think I had something somewhere else. Yeah, on the way back, it was a long walk as well for this restaurant. So on the way back, there was a shop or dessert place. We went in and I had some tiramisu. So I think I've talked about tiramisu many times on this vlog. If you're not subscribed, you should subscribe so that you can hear all the discussions about food. And that tiramisu was nice. And my first experience with tiramisu was in Germany, in Frankfurt, and I've had tiramisu in a few different countries. This was the first time I was having tiramisu in Italy. So that was like, like the whole completing the circle, and it was lovely. So I also tried cannolis, but cannolis were kind of okay. I think they were too sweet for my taste. On our walks around the city, we also saw a street performer who was playing violin, and oh my god, he was amazing. Like, you could stand there in the November air and just listen to him play for hours. He was that good. Very good. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know what his career trajectory is, whether he likes doing that or whether he's just doing it until he goes to law school or something. But he was fantastic. He had talent. So from there, we just took a bus back and came back, put everything on charge as usual. And I was so tired because remember, I had been up since about 5 o'clock or something with the Colosseum queue and everything, also all that walking around. So I just fell on my bed and went to sleep without turning the lights off or brushing my teeth. That was like one of those things that sometimes happens in travels as well. So yeah, so that was the day 2, all those nice funny things happening, and then we'll get to day 3 tomorrow. How about that? If you subscribe, you won't miss it. And if you have any questions, or if you have been to Rome and you want to add your own perspective, please feel free to comment below. I always like to read the comments and reply to them. I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching and have a nice week. Bye bye.